Well, hello all, and I am back with a new video. I know I haven't done a video in almost a week, and there is a reason for that. The reason being, there was nothing really that I could talk about that I was interested enough in to where I could do a video that would satisfy me and provide you with something interesting to watch and to listen to. You know, I could have done a video talking about lockdown, or I could have done a video talking about Extreme Rules, but in the end I'm not interested enough in either show to really deliver a video that it would be worthwhile to do. So I didn't do those videos. I thought about doing them to kind of show some activity, but that's not really the reason you should do videos, and so I didn't do them. What I did this week, I would say, was a lot more worthwhile than talking about either of those shows. And I spent this week catching up on the CHIKARA product. You know, I had made a promise to myself a short while ago that I was going to get completely caught up on the CHIKARA product before King of Trios, because King of Trios has a good enough reputation to where there'll be enough interest in it that I might want to pick it up. Whether or not I'm a regular follower of CHIKARA, I would still want to pick King of Trios up. So I decided that to get the full experience of those shows, those 3 nights of King of Trios, I was going to buy the last few shows and get fully absorbed in the CHIKARA product, and that is what I did. You know, the other reason, you know, King of Trios aside, I also wanted to kind of check out the CHIKARA product out of interest, you know, based on what I've heard over the last few months that they're getting so good, and their product is storyline oriented, with characters that are believable and you can get emotionally invested in. That's the product that I remember from growing up, the product that I was accustomed to, and the product that I loved, and definitely wanted to rediscover, and definitely think that I can rediscover that product. You know, when I started watching Ring of Honor, that was a different product. That was an in-ring product, and that was a great product. Don't get me wrong, I still love that product, but this is a rediscovery of the product that I used to know, the product that I got, that got me into wrestling, basically. And let me say that this product has been the rediscovery that I really needed. I'm going to say that right now. This was everything I wanted it to be. This is everything that I want in a wrestling promotion. I will say that right now. I was very impressed with what I saw. The last 6 shows I managed to pick up, a quick look at them. Three-Fisted Tales, A Touch of Class, I'm in Condition, A World of Comforting Illusion, Wit, Verve and a Bit of Nerve, and Dead Men Don't Laugh. The last 6 CHIKARA shows, you know, Smart Mark Video is expensive. I wish they would run more sales, but, and you know, the shipping cost is almost as much as one DVD, I'll say that right now, to ship internationally. But luckily for me, CHIKARA doesn't run as much shows as like Ring of Honor would, so it wasn't like I had to buy that many shows. Like 6 is a fairly standard number, so I was happy enough to shell out for CHIKARA this one time and see if I could enjoy the product, and I definitely did. I will say that. You know, this product to me, do you remember being a casual fan? Do you remember not rating shows? We didn't rate shows, at least I didn't when I was growing up. I didn't rate shows. I didn't really regard one show as superior or inferior to the next. I just knew whether they were fun or not. I just said that show was fun, that show wasn't fun, and that was good enough for me. That was all I needed to know, and that's what I can say for these shows. That is what I will say for these shows. They are just fun. You know, if you wanted me to elaborate, I would definitely say that A Touch of Class is the best of those 6 shows. That this is definitely the best show. You know, the rest of the shows are just plain fun. That show is a really great show. I will say that. You know, that's the way it was, right? You just knew whether the show was fun. You know, only occasionally would there be a show that was so good that you had to regard it as like superior or one of the best shows of all time. Or only very occasionally would there be a match that was so amazing to watch that you had to regard it as one of the best matches you've ever seen. But otherwise, the shows were just fun, the storylines were good enough to make you want to watch the next show, and that's all that you needed to know. And that is exactly what this product is, and it's exactly what I hoped it would be when I bought these shows. I was hoping this is what I would see, and it definitely is. You know, I didn't even need to watch that much before I was hooked into it. You know, I was expecting when I bought these shows, okay, this is my first real absorption of the CHIKARA product. You know, I do have a 2008 show, but to be honest, I never actually watched it. I just pretty much kept putting it off in favor of other DVDs, so I actually haven't watched that show yet. I did actually try to watch it a few matches in, but I just never finished it, so there we go on that. That's what I did there. But in this case, I got these 6 shows and I watched them straight through within the week. 6 shows in 1 week. That might be my biggest period of that much wrestling in 1 week. That might be the most wrestling I've ever watched in a single week, and I'm not kidding about that. And I definitely have no regrets spending this time watching these shows. It is a definitely storyline oriented product with characters that you can get into, and the shows are just fun, and I was hooked. Three-Fisted Tales, I will say that, I thought the show was good, and I thought that the aftermatch angle was intriguing, but I probably didn't mark out as much as someone who was following the product from the beginning. I was expecting that, so I watched the next show, and the next show, A Touch of Class, this is probably the reason why I hold that in such high regard. This show had a heel turn that I would say was probably the best heel turn I have seen in a long time. Better than Kevin Steen, better than Batista. That was an amazing heel turn. Because A Touch of Class is almost 3 months old, and because I do actually watch the content that is uploaded onto the Real Wrigley channel, I knew who was going to turn, but I didn't know how it was going to be executed, and the way that it was done was so absolutely amazing that I still marked out like hell for it. It was absolutely amazing, and what followed was a work of art. I will say that they actually had about a 15-minute, maybe it was 15 minutes, maybe it was shorter than that. It felt long. A 15-minute, pretty much almost squash, where the impact of that heel turn was enough to where you can watch that and not feel bored. I will say that, and that is amazing that they were able to do that. So there we go on that. The BDK angle, the Bruder Shaft, they are definitely different than what you would expect from a faction war. Because if you describe a faction war trying to take over, that's been done loads of times before. There's nothing really new you can do with that. But everyone in the Bruder Shaft has their place, and it works so well that I would say that this is a lot more entertaining than I would any right to expect from a faction war storyline at this time, because a faction trying to take over has been done before. But this is a very different tone of the faction itself. Everyone has their place. Claudio and Eras are the tag team now that the Champions de Parejas. Torres is a big guy, but he can actually go. He actually has some moves that will contort his body more than you would expect from a guy his size. He can actually work pretty well, and he's the muscle of the team. They don't have him in there any longer than he needs to be, which is exactly how you should book a guy like that. They have the 2 women, Daisy Hayes and Sarah Del Rey, who are being treated as equals, and that's very nice to see. They have Pinky Sanchez, who can definitely cut an amazing promo, and he can work a very good match. He was the Carpenter ant who infiltrated the colony, which was, he can definitely get your attention. Tim Donst. Let me just say right now, Tim Donst is awesome. I looked up that he is only 23 years old. This guy will get so much better. He's already very good. I'm not going to say he's great already, because he's not great, but he's very good. And the fact that he is only 23 is amazing to me. He can talk, he can cut a promo that, he has the arrogance that is typical of any heel these days, but he has a darker side to him because he's in the Bruder Shaft that, to me, just kind of hooked me in. I will say that. And it was just so amazing to watch his promos, and the guy can actually work. The guy is a good wrestler, and that just puts him ahead from all of these other arrogant heels that you would see these days. Better than Kennedy, better than McIntyre. This guy really has my attention, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching him grow. And who else is in the? I already talked about the guy that turns heel. I don't believe I'm forgetting anyone. Not to my knowledge, but everyone in the BDK has their place, and Eddie Kingston is working very well in the role that he's been given. It seems like he's going to be positioned as the unlikely face, because he's while he's solid on the promos, he's not really what you would expect in a babyface hero against a invading faction. But I think that's the point of the storyline, because he's saying that he doesn't care about Chikara, he doesn't care if the fans cheer him, but he still doesn't like Claudio, and he still doesn't respect Claudio, so he's going to fight the BDK anyways. It'll probably come to the point where Quackenbush and the rest of the Technicals are trying to fight the BDK, and they are failing, which they are doing now, and they need Eddie Kingston to help them and unite everyone against the BDK, but Eddie Kingston won't do it, and they continue to fall to the Bruderschaft until they finally manage to unite and take them down. And you know, I just said that as if I was an analyst, but let me tell you, when the BDK actually lose a match, which they have not done on these shows, I'm going to mark out like hell, because that's the way they've built this up to be. They've built this up to where when the BDK lose a match, whether it happens at King of Trios or whether it happens after King of Trios, I'm going to mark out like hell, because that's the way that Chikara has done it. Check out this product if you want to get your storylines back in wrestling. This is an amazing, amazing product, and they've earned themselves a regular viewer. You know, Chikara, the fact that they run less shows, it'll definitely be a draw in me buying every DVD. But the fact that this is a product that has gotten me to be interested in the next show, every show, not just the ones that have great matches on them, because the matches are good. But like I said, the matches are just fun. There's very rare a time where you see a match that is so good that you would recognize it as being a great match, but the matches are